So this is a remastered version. I'm not sure when the remastered version came out, but it worked for Steam. This was a French company, Cecile Productions is the ones that brought the Broken Swords. The game came out in the 90s sometime, I think, shortly after the Shadow of the Templars. And they remastered it.
This must be the place. Professor Oubier's house.
Looks pretty creepy. I'd been away from Paris and hadn't seen Nico for nearly 6 months. I wanted to celebrate our reunion, but she had other plans. An appointment with an archaeologist.
I wonder what
Something to
celebrating
do with
our
a
other
Mayan stone she came across while researching the story.
unions are.
The guy who answered the door didn't look much like an archaeologist to me. I had a bad feeling about this.
Boy, he has got a burly chest, doesn't he? Here, Chad. He was take that American scum. And there goes Nico Collard. Where's this guy's being like totally possessed or something? He just took Nico and left us a friend. And you know how I feel about friends. So we got friends and we got fire. We're effed. We're effed on a Mother's Day. Okay, so our friend is coming.
I just, knocked him out a couple more times. So just saying the spider
The bookshelf. Something about the bookshelf. I can't remember what it is. Okay, he has to crawl a little closer. Okay, so please, God, let me use the. It's knock the bookshelf
I glanced
over.
the books, vaguely hoping to find a copy of How to Train Your Dragon to a Chair. No such luck. But I noticed one corner which was supported by a loose block of wood.
Okay, maybe we should do.
The bookcase.
like maybe there's something underneath.
Move the block of wood. Smack!
Maybe I'd been a little heavy-handed, but it was a question of survival. Of course, I was still tied to a chair in a burning house with no means of escape.
There's this metal bracket, though.
With one mighty bound, our hero was free. Now, I had to deal with that fire.
Pee on it.
Inside, I found a bottle of tequila.
You know, that's going to be good to use on a fire.
Normally, I didn't drink strong spirits, but
Today was not the normal day. That's okay.
disgusting.
Actually might pee on it.
Not only did the tequila burn like hell, I just managed to stop myself from swallowing the worm.
Oh, not the worm.
I'd drunk enough. In the drawer was a small decorated pot.
Did I take the pot? I love that there was, yeah.
I wasn't touching that spider goo.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Yellow pus was seeping from below the bookcase. That spider was very squashed.
Yep, that's the end of that.
It was a half bottle of tequila.
It was a full bottle until I decided to imbibe myself here. Okay, the metal bracket. Is there something to do about the metal
I
bracket?
had no further use for the bracket.
Anything with the chair?
It was the chair I'd been tied to.
Can I
had
do
no
anything?
time to sit around.
All right. This also employed a hint system, so if you got terribly lost, you could use a hint system. So we came to this house of this archaeologist and into a trap.
Nice couple.
I'm confident if I've got past a certain parts that I'm going to get past this part too. This also did not include the space bar check. So if you press the space bar, sometimes it would show you the hot spots. All right, the window's about to be where we go
I
out.
wasn't going to get through those sturdy bars.
Something in the cabinet.
The cabinet was locked.
Why is nothing ever open and ready when you are a adventurer, huh? All right, let's get the box.
Touch the box after that spider.
Okay, so not only did they leave us the spider, but they left the spider the box. The door,
The door blocked my only means of escape.
obviously, and the fire. Can I pull the rug out from underneath something? Okay, I've got a bag. So, and a worm. Do I need the worm? Because the worm was available too. Where's the worm?
There was something short, fleshy, and gross on the carpet.
Please put it away. Okay, we grabbed the worm from the bottle of tequila. Not that that's going to help us escape this place. But shouldn't we pick up the bag?
It was
And-
a stylish little canvas number containing a lipstick, a handwritten note, and a pair of nylon panties with a large love heart emblazoned across the front. It occurred to me that Nico's tastes must have really changed while I was away.
So
They
I'm
could be useful.
yeah. I'm guessing that okay. So we left the purse and took the panties. All right, awesome. Inventory, is that a tab? Maybe we can't get to our inventory now.
I wasn't going to get through those sturdy bars.
Okay, so if you're not going to get through the bars, this is something that we are going to crash, like pick up the chair and throw it through the window. And how does that affect the sturdy bars? Okay, there's something on the ground.
The
A rope.
was shredded and no possible use to me. The rope was shredded.
Can I take
I
the
had
chair?
no time to sit around. It was the chair I'd...
I'm not trying to sit around, George. I'm trying. Hey, Medicine Hat. I'm doing great. How are you? Let me check something here. Capamon. Capamon is over. You're doing okay? Awesome. Just had a really nice Mother's Day. Chad made me breakfast and stuff like that. So I'm doing good. Just playing a little Broken Sword, Smoking Mirror. He's gonna be in and out. He's got some adulting to do today, so it's gonna be me. But there he is. He made me a breakfast bake, 12 eggs, hash browns. No cheese though, right?
No, there's a lot of cheese.
Cheese.
3 cups of cheese.
Okay, so there's cheese, ham, egg,
Some
chives, no bacon.
peppers,
What?
like an orange pepper.
Oh, an orange pepper. So anyway, cool. No, it was a bake. So it was one that you put in
Similar.
like an 8x10 pan, and then layer it, and then bake it. You usually
Hash browns.
hash browns. So you overnight
A little
type
like-
thing.
A little like an omelet, but
Sort of like an omelet, but more like a bake. What I would call a casserole.
Yeah, it's called a breakfast.
Interesting. I haven't heard of that before. Yeah, it's one of the things I asked him if he could. Okay, is there...
What's in the box? What's in the box?
That box held the spider. He doesn't want to touch it. As a siphon. Kind of like an
There
omelet,
was no pressure on
similar.
the siphon. I guess it was out of gas.
Similar ingredients, but oh, hold on. Something's on the ground. A dart. I just picked it up and shoved it in my pocket.
But this didn't deter me from getting it anyway.
So I picked it up. I shoved it in my pocket. It's a needlepoint needle. Out of a dart, a dart. Is there anything else in the drawer? Okay, so I got the bag, I got the panties, and the note. How am I going to get out of this room? I do not remember. It has been 3 years since I last played this. And he does not want the spider. So don't even ask for the spider, because that's not happening. And he's not going to use the metal bracket. Take care as always and have fun. Well, thank you so much, Cinemasker. Today it's just me flying solo, and Chad is going to be in and out, but for the most part, I'm running the Sunday brunch. So hopefully you're doing okay, and you have a good day, okay? Medicine Hat, you got any ideas?
The bars attached to the window would prevent anyone getting in. They also stop me from getting out.
So we are not, but the fire is burning rather slowly. So maybe there's something over here that we just, like an umbrella stand. The door, we can't get
The
out.
door blocked my only means of escape. The door blocked.
The cabinet is locked.
The cabinet was locked.
The siphon has nothing. The window can't. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about this game. Oh, it's just getting ideas, not necessarily like knowing what to do.
The photograph wasn't any use to me.
Okay, so the photograph's not going to be any use. He drunk bottle. Okay, so we need to put out the fire. Right, we need to put out the fire. We're looking for a key to open up a cabinet, I think.
The rope was shredded and no pot.
We can't use the rope that I was tied to. There doesn't seem to be anything on the cabinet. Okay, I have a few items. Okay, I've got
It
the
was a pair of red lace-trimmed panties decorated with a large black satin heart. The pot contained a key.
a key. Could the key be to the cabinet? I've said there is a person less concerned that the room is on fire. But Medicine Hat, it's burning very, very, very slowly.
The cabinet was locked. In the cabinet's wooden door was a very small keyhole.
Hold on. Did I not grab it? Key with the flames. That made sense. I was trying the key.
Not such a good idea.
The key with the worm. It doesn't seem to respawn. Okay, key with the cabinet.
The key was way too large to fit into that tiny keyhole.
It's a key that's large. The drawer reopened, so maybe we gotta join something. Maybe we gotta combine something like the worm and
No,
the dart.
I had to think of something else.
Okay. Dart
I
and
wasn't convinced that was the right thing to do.
no, I wasn't either. Should I read the note?
I guess I had no business reading the note, but I figured it might give me a clue to what Nico was involved in. It was from Andre Labanau, the history student Nico had known at college. The letter was sentimental mush, and revealed that the exotic lingerie, as he called it, was a gift from him. It gave his telephone number. Labanau figured himself as a rival for Nico's affections, but I couldn't believe that creep was in the running.
So Chad Labanau is back in this one. Panties in the key. Slingshot.
I was convinced that
Labanau gave her these are the infamous panties I was telling you about. This is the trick
it was
gag.
a pair of red lace-trimmed panties decorated with a large black satin heart.
What do
You know
think
I'm
of
gonna have.
these?
If I ever get
Are
out
they
of
yours?
this burning room, okay, Chad, I need your brains. If I ever get out of this burning room alive, I'm
You need
gonna
to
be
provide
showing.
some gas to the siphon.
Can you do something with the siphon?
You need to put some gas of some sort in.
We don't have a gas, but I wonder if I could dart the siphon. Well, what can a siphon do? I've got lipstick and a worm. You want me to do the worm in the siphon? So this time, if you don't know what the shit to do, you just it shakes its head and says, "I don't know."
Yeah, it's probably not a good way to.
I racked my brains to think of a way to improvise a fire extinguisher.
Okay,
Only I'd
we've got-
stop for a coffee at the airport.
We've got a siphon, and we've got a dart. Are you sure that this is not going to work? How do we do a fire extinguisher? What do we have in our inventory that's going to help us do a fire extinguisher?
No. No.
These are very much nothing yet, I don't think. These are very much linear paths. So obviously, but still, the room is burning at a very, very slow rate. Is there a key underneath? Is there something underneath the mat? I think you got to get into this thing. I'm going to try the blow dart on the cabinet. Let's see if I can pick the lock. And lo and behold, I picked the lock.
As I released the lock, something blew the doors open.
The fire.
The cabinet was already open.
A cylinder.
That cylinder was hot. I couldn't pick it up with my bare hands.
Should I use the lace panties? Because it's really the only thing I own.
The panties I'd found in Nico's bag were just what I needed to wrap around the hot cylinder.
One would think I have a walkthrough. Go, holy cow! It did. It worked. I was like, I don't know what else to do. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, right now. I do not have a walkthrough
The
open.
cabinet was already open.
My walkthrough is Chad, and he is in and out. So we picked up a cylinder. And what is this cylinder? Oh, it is a, it could maybe go with the siphon. Because it's a gas.
The cylinder gave out a faint hiss as the valve opened.
We did a makeshift fire extinguisher.
Now I had one primed up and ready to use extinguisher.
All right, well then maybe we just want to be using that on the fire. You gonna do that? Use it on the fire? Could you pick it back up, please? Hello? 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 Siphon and the fire. Siphon and the flames. This is the lamest answer for how to.
A well-aimed squirt of a soda fountain. Our unshakable hero saved the day. Now it was time to start looking for Nico.
All right, we are moving it on. Past the ugly squash spider, past the flames that are now gone. Look at now, we left a little bit of a burnt mark. It really wasn't a very active fire, because if it had been an active fire, it should have like lit this whole place up like the 4th of July, and it didn't. So I guess we head out the door.
I wasn't gonna burn myself on that red-hot doorknob, and it wasn't the time for subtlety.
Okay, so I thought he was going to use the panties again. I was like, boy, these panties are versatile. Okay, time to go. And so the story starts.
I'd found a piece of newspaper folded in two. It referred to a forthcoming eclipse of the sun. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be visible from Europe. The best place to view the eclipse would be Mexico.
Content.
Much as I disliked him, Labano might be my only hope of finding Nico.
Well, unless Lavino paid those guys to jump me when I got into, I mean, I don't know how he's going to know anything.
It's George Stobart.
How's it sound, Messenhat?
Don't you mean ex-boyfriend?
Look, I didn't call you just to pick a fight. I need to talk to you about Nico.
Can't you accept she's just not interested in you?
Listen, Andre, we need to talk. Nico's life depends on it.
Okay. You remember the cafe at Montfaucon?
Sure. Andre?
So-
You'd better show, you creep.
Thank you so much
Felt an
for saying
irrational
nice
urge
job.
to wipe my ear.
Only thing I could think of is like a lock and a bobby pin, and then I realized that the dart had a pointed end. So, but notice in my inventory, I still have the dart. I still have the panties, I have the letter, I have this thing too. I want to take a look at this. Oh, I think you would have tried all your inventory items. That's how you played in the old days.
It was the newspaper clipping.
You just
referring
tried
to
all
Nico.
your inventory
Left
items
inside
until
was
something
a
worked.
small piece of paper. It was a
And that's
basket
the
with
only way to
Andre's
play
account
this
and
game.
an automatic telling machine. The last 5 withdrawals were for large amounts, and all made in Marseille.
So honestly, and there's, okay, so we called Labanu. Oh, let's see if we can go in this door. Now if the fire's out, we should be able to wander around.
It was locked.
Okay, so if it was locked, can we do our little dart lock picking trick again? Or is that only going to work once?
The tiny point was only of use for picking small locks.
Not for large locks. Okay. All right. But we're holding on to it. So there's got to be more to the story than meets the eye.
There was no one else I wanted to call.
Okay. You don't want to call anyone else. All right. Time to head out. Get out of the place where they jumped us and go find Nico and figure out what the heck she's
Door was
involved
locked.
in.
I didn't fancy my chances of kicking this door down.
Great. So maybe we can pick this lock. Why would, oh, the key. Why pick a lock? Oh, hold on. Why pick a lock when you got a key? Except for experience of picking a lock. Can we go this way?
The house key didn't fit this lock.
Hint, hint, it's just the house key. So it's probably not a door that we're going to be able to go in or go in for, any particular reason.
I unlocked the door. I wasn't looking forward to meeting Labano again, but he was my only link with Nico.
Time for George Stobart to go to the cafe and to meet
There was no
with...
sign of Labano when I got to the cafe. I decided to order a coffee and wait for him.
Okay. So Nico is a journalist and for a newspaper, and George Stobar is an American. I guess he's like an amateur detective philanthropist.
I couldn't snatch the man's flask while he was looking. Pardon me, but don't I know you?
Huh?
You were here the day I found the catacombs.
I was. Ah, yes. I remember you.
Is he the police chief?
Are you still in the police force?
No, not anymore.
Chad, the guy that's the policeman is still sitting in the cafe. Remember this cafe? Remember the sergeant that was sitting there, and there was the clown that before the Templars and stuff like that?
You need the thing to be able to get down in there. Oh, okay, yeah, the museum, wasn't that the museum guy or?
Yeah.
Guy or
What it
something?
is to be young.
Who's not?
When you share what
Here we show him a bunch of stuff, and he was like,
I'd love to.
we show him the white powder.
the company isn't good enough for
Of
you.
course, you get silly answers for that.
Here we go. Oh, that's a leaving.
Okay, so you're still in like Paris or something here.
Why
at
did
this
you leave?
point.
I'm back in
I was
Paris.
forced to retire. Golden handshake. Only in my case, it was more copper than gold.
How come?
I was made a scapegoat to cover up the department's inefficiencies.
Have you ever heard of a Professor Oubier?
No, monsieur. I don't recall the name.
Well, apparently he's an expert on Mayan art and history.
A little out of my field of experience, monsieur. If he'd been a serial killer or a sodomite, I might have been able to help.
Well, we went from one extreme to the next, didn't we? Serial killer or sodomite? He's the expert. He knows all about him. Okay.
What's that you're drinking?
It's wine.
What do you make of this dart?
I remember a case where the victim was killed with just such a device. The poison acted in seconds, causing his body to swell up like an inflatable life raft.
Great. Good thing he missed.
What do you make of this news cutting?
Of niche.
So that's one of the things that's kind of cool is the inventory items open up, and if they're useful,
Total eclipse of the sun. Well, that's very dull in comparison. I don't know anything about eclipses.
if they're useful, there's going to be dialogue. If there's not, it'll just be like some silly riffraff.
Tell me what you make of this note.
By years of experience, I gained a pretty good insight into handwriting. I'd say that note was written by a compulsive, obsessive type with an Oedipus.
Oedipus complex.
You got just about everything apart from the ponytail.
That's his competition for Nico's affections. That's Nico. You haven't seen yet, Medicine Hat. We're trying to find her.
Oh, garçon.
Garçon. I will give you piss water, you stupid American.
I'm sure you delivered.
Piss water.
It was too hot to sit inside the cafe. Besides,
You will like it. Can I talk to him? Can I talk to you? Hey, this is how it feels to be in a French cafe.
well, I'd like a cup of coffee if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I will give you piss water. We will give you yesterday's coffee water. You will like it. Okay, we got to get this guy served. We know this guy. This is like a friend. We could actually sit at the table and talk with him.
Un café.
Thanks.
Okay, one coffee. Okay, how about this? Do you know anything about this?
What does that guy keep pouring out of his flask?
Absinthe.
Absinthe.
Absence.
I thought that was highly
Holy
dangerous
crap.
and outlawed in France.
It is. Don't look at me. I didn't sell it to him.
We had another game where you messed around with absence, and it was Phantasmagoria.
Did you
And
mention the Green Fairy?
do what?
The Green Fairy?
The Green Fairy.
That's the nickname for absinthe.
Oh.
I also use it in my book, Never Keep.
I didn't know anything about absence. Okay, this is Labineau this time. The guy in the museum, the little pissant.
Do you know a guy called Andre Lobineau?
Oui, I know him. What of it?
Well, I was supposed to meet him here. Did I miss him?
No, I have not seen him today.
So are they
Have you heard
serving
of
absinthe?
Professor Oubier?
Oui.
The
He
the
married
the
that
Gardon,
press,
the
little
police
Dachshund.
officer,
He
is
used to come
sucking
here.
back the
The
absence
nutty
with his
professor
wine.
and the movie star.
Jeez. Does he have the sugar and the little special slotted spoon
If
and
Oubier's
stuff?
wife was a movie star.
And I think
how
I've told
come
you
I
this
know her?
before, that
She
what
was
you do
big in
to
France.
prepare
Well
absinthe,
done
you take
stop
some
at
of the
Hollywood.
absinthe,
Her stage name was
then
Carol
you take a
Climax.
sugar cube and
She
you
died.
dip ice cold water onto it to melt
Suspicious
it in. Then you mix it
circumstances.
with ice cold water.
I'm glad I'm not an. I don't know anything about it, but I'm glad you're the expert.
I tell you, it's research from my book.
How
And it
did
was actually
Oubier's wife
illegal.
die?
I heard.
It was
No,
illegal.
Chad's never even so much as judged alcohol, so there's no way in hell he's drinking absinthe.
That's how I know about it, because I did research for it. But it was actually illegal. So that's the thing that made it interesting in Phantasmagoria was, I think at that time, you know, it was probably like a really old bottle, and it was probably illegal in the United States at the time. And I
Why
think it's
would
made
an
out of
eminent
wormwood or
public
something
figure
like
like
that. So I think
Oubier
there were
risk
issues.
everything for murder?
He wouldn't be the first, would he? Besides,
I
people
wouldn't
like
touch
them
the
old
stuff
people.
either. You might as, I mean, you could get a lot, you could get the desired effects from, say, like Everclear or something like that, you know, versus her straight up moonshine versus.
Well, I mean, if you add the sugar and the ice water, it sounds like it probably makes it a little sweeter or something.
Okay.
Do you know that man over there?
I should think so. He's a regular customer.
He's been living there since the Templars, Crusade of the Templars there, okay?
Look at this. A poison dart.
Ah, oui. Sure.
Good thing. Knocked my girlfriend out cold in a matter of seconds.
Romantic. Sounds like a real close relationship you have. Thank you.
This is one of the things I love about this game. You can click on your items and get a reaction. There's tons of Easter eggs.
I wouldn't normally call you. But Nico's in trouble, Andre. Deep trouble. You have to help me find her.
What?
This
What
is
have
this
you
guy
dragged
listening
her into
in.
this time?
It was you that recommended Professor Oubier as an expert on Mayan art. Now his butler has kidnapped her. And he tried to kill me.
Every time she gets involved with you, there is trouble. Walking out on her was the best thing you could do.
My father was dying, damn it. I had no choice.
Well, she soon recovered once she went back to her old friends.
Drop it, Andre. Right now, Nico's in danger, and we have to work together.
So, how can I help?
Nico needed to speak to Oubier about a stone.
Oh, you mean this stone?
He's carting it around in his pocket.
So that's what all the trouble's about.
Precisely. Nicole told me to guard it with my life.
And that could happen.
Surely.
Oh, very funny.
What's funny is that your life really is on the line.
What are you talking about?
The stone is a Mayan artifact, dummy. And the guy who kidnapped Nico was from Central America. It was the stone they were after.
Oh my god, you mean I could be in danger too?
Score. He gets it.
What do you suppose the carving on the stone means?
I don't know. I haven't shown it to anyone.
Why don't you just give it to me?
I don't want your death on my conscience, George.
Where did Nico get the stone?
I'm not sure I should tell you.
Oh, you should.
It was something to do with smuggling.
Why didn't Nico take the stone to Oubier?
I don't know. Perhaps she suspected something like this would happen.
If she's been hurt, Andre, I'll break every bone in your body.
No, that's typical of you. Do you think I don't care what happens to Nicole?
It occurred to me that slugs don't have bones to break, but I kept that thought to myself. Tell me about your friend Oubier.
He's more of a professional.
These are
acquaintance than a
delightful
friend.
games.
see.
I happen to
So
love
you
them.
don't really know him at all.
No,
There's-
I don't.
5 in the series, I think.
Does Oubier employ a guy from Central America?
Maybe. I don't know.
I wonder if I should move it to a retro category to see if we get any people who would be on the
What do you
retro
think this
channel
is?
that might.
I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. It's got more backbone than you.
You think you're amusing, don't you?
Because it is kind of retro. And it's not my, it's my second playthrough, but I'm going to leave it as the first playthrough. Not, sort of. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's move it to a retro category and see if we get any, because I don't really have an adventure category. So let's move it to a retro category, because there are people who love these kind of games. If they find them. I like the art style, but I don't remember hearing about the series. I found the series back in 2003, I think, because we have one that is the Broken Sword, the Sleeping Dragon. And that was my very first one. I didn't have the other ones, but I was at like a Best Buy, I think, or something, and looking at games back in the 2000s. And I saw that game. I thought, well, that looks cool. I'll go and get that one, you know. So anyway, I moved it to retro. And actually, the Sleeping Dragon
Tell me
is
about
fun.
this plot.
South or Central American, I'd say.
I
have a
played
friend
through
who'd be
part
able
of
to tell
this,
you more.
but I couldn't remember the puzzle about how to get,
He owns
into the
gallery on
cabinet.
left bank, the Gliese Gallery.
because it's been 3 years.
Take a look at this, Andre.
It's a bank statement.
Yeah, Professor Ubier's account. 5 large cash withdrawals in the space of 3 days, all from an automatic teller in Marseille. Suspicious, isn't it?
You're even more crazy than you were before. See you later. Goodbye, Georgie.
Georgie. He calls me Georgie. I don't get a chance to show him the panties? All right, so when we get a chance, we're showing the panties, all right?
Enough of your games, Kala. Tell me what you've done with my stone.
I thought your business was simply smuggling cocaine, Karzak. Why are you so interested in that stone?
Either you tell me what I want to know, or Pablo here will make you talk.
Okay. Well, I figured someone at the university would be able to help. So I had a word with one of my girlfriends, and she told me her boyfriend was a lecturer. I sent the stone to the Department of Ethnology. You know, I figured it was South American, so... You're not buying this, are you?
That's enough. I don't have time to
Sorry,
listen to mindless
sorry.
battle.
I just can't believe she
Leave you
blew
to
her own
think it
damn lie.
Come the morning, you'll be ready to talk.
Nicely, the water that I spit out because I was laughing went everywhere but my computer. Okay, so now we get to do exactly...
I don't think so.
Oh. Okay, I guess I can't, darn it. I have things I have to ask him first.
Do you miss being a gendarme?
Yes, of course I do.
No way to make this guy
I wore that
drip
uniform. I commanded the respect.
recede back further into his abstinence.
Excuse me.
Leave me alone.
I can't show you the panties.
Excuse me.
Leave me alone.
I can't show. How about the waiter? Can I show the waiter the panties?
You need anything else?
The waiter wouldn't have been interested.
Okay, so it officially begins, and this is my fun because last time with the Shadow of the Templars, there was a dirty tissue, and I showed everyone in the game the dirty tissue to the point where it got just beyond goofball funny. Okay, so let's see. Chad, there's a sewer cover.
I had no desire to go down into the sewers.
Darn, why not?
I had no desire to go down into the sewers.
I can't believe we end up here at the same place. Because it's the only one in town. Okay, here we
Now
go.
I had another lead. I could either go back to Ubier's house or visit the Glee's gallery. It was locked.
I want to go back up. I see nothing wrong with that. I want to go back upstairs, and I want to look around Ubier's house. The body carcass of the spider is still sitting on the ground over there, which tells me no one's come home to find the bookshelf on the ground, right? Yep, there's the ooze of the squash spider.
Yellow pus was seeping from below the bookcase. That spider was very squashed.
Okay, maybe it's only been a couple hours. Maybe it's not that. Yeah, it's gross. You know, maybe it's only been a couple hours, so who knows? Okay, is there anything else in the cabinet?
The cabinet contained what looked like a burst cylinder. I wasn't going to touch the box after that. I'd already ransacked Nico's handbag, and
'Cause
besides which, the color didn't suit me.
Wouldn't you want to pick up the handbag so you could give it back to her, and would you leave it on the ground? Maybe there's something in this drawer now. Well, there's the chair I
had no
was
tags
locked to.
around. It was a closed drawer.
Well, by all means, can we not open it?
There was nothing else in the drawer.
Okay. So besides the spider guts, what's the new clue I got from the house?
The
Maybe it's this
wasn't of
photograph.
any use to me.
Well, seriously, what did we gain? We can't go out the window.
I wasn't going to get through those sturdy bars.
Is there something? See, I thought maybe the picture might have a safe behind it or something, but I don't see anything. I did. He wouldn't pick it up. He left it on the ground. The bag, I got the panties and I got the lipstick and all that stuff from.
I'd already ransacked Nico's handbag, and besides which, the color didn't suit me.
See? He already ransacked Nico's handbag and the color didn't suit him. I don't think we gained anything, even though they told us we could go back to Ubier's house. I don't see how we gained anything at all. And we can only go to this door, and this door is locked. And the locked door does not, the key that we have does not open that lock.
It was locked.
So maybe it's something that we have to do after the Valerie.
The house
Yeah.
key didn't fit this lock.
Okay, I agree. So let's go ahead
I
and
had a
let's
choice
go
of
out
destinations. The cafe at Montfaucon or the art gallery.
the art gallery.
The Glees Gallery had style and class, but very few customers. Are you Mr. Glees, the owner?
Good God, no.
Then I guess that must be him over there, right?
Your powers of deductive reasoning astound me.
I didn't think he'd be interested.
Darn, he wasn't interested.
Have you heard of Professor Oubier?
Yes, of course.
I was at his house earlier.
If you're going to drop names, you could at least name one worth dropping.
I thought Oubier was a well-respected man.
Why, his last book was nothing but pseudo-intellectual claptrap. The demented ramblings of a drug-dependent has-been.
You know what he said? He said he wasn't interested in the panties.
What's that you're drinking?
I'm not sure, but I have a suspicion it might be yours. He can expect a favorable criticism of his gallery when he serves this muck.
Would you give me your opinion on this pot, sir?
Yes. Very rapouche.
Rapouche?
Hideous.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
He broke the frickin' pot!
You smashed my pot.
Certainly, it was not only worthless, it was ugly and offensive.
To you, maybe.
Believe me, I was doing you a favor.
I wasn't going to waste any more breath talking to that pompous blimp. Maybe I could turn the situation to my advantage.
What?
And at the same time, get my revenge.
Pompous blimp.
Oh, okay. I said
The
pompous.
pot had smashed into too many pieces to retrieve.
Where's your driver's license? Needed for the taxes.
Oh, my purse.
Where's your purse?
On my dresser bed. I'm in the dresser.
Okay. Smashed pot. Oh, jeez. Was Link in here again?
The pot had smashed into too many pieces to retrieve.
Have Link go into a China shop? No!
Yeah, Link going into a China shop is probably not a good idea. Hello, ladies. My name is George Stobart. I'm an American.
Hi, girls.
Oh, yeah. The hee girls.
Okay, fine.
It looks like he has a tiny little woo. A tiny little woo.
Ooh, is it poisonous? If they were, the dog would be dead.
Oh, that's too funny. Oh, I forgot about that was Jeff Dunham, right?
Jeff Foxworthy.
Oh, Jeff Foxworthy's joke. Yeah, that's funny.
Oops.
The little hee girls are funny.
If I wanted to be laughed at, there was always Nico.
That's about to read. Link's idea.
Don't use that one.
Yeah, that one would be wrong.
What? Maybe they want to see the panties. Maybe they could give me some information about the panties.
If I wanted to be laughed at, there was always Nico.
So probably don't want to. He's trying to get arrested, isn't he? Yeah. Okay. So how about you? How about the gallery owner?
I had no possible use for a credit card reader. I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Certainly, sir. I'd be most happy to oblige.
Really? Are you
Your
the
English?
police? Did you
Please
show
let
any
one first
identification?
present oneself as European.
Sure. Whatever you say.
And how precisely may one assist you, sir?
Do you get many Central American Indians in here?
No, sir. This is Paris. Central America is several thousand kilometers southwest of here. Straight across the Atlantic Ocean and turn left. You can't miss it.
Well, as it happens, I saw some Central American Indians this very morning.
Tourists, sir. Paris is full of them at this time of year.
Have you heard of Professor Oubier?
Of course. His name is synonymous with Mayan art. A number of these artifacts were supplied by Oubier himself.
Do you believe the story that Oubier murdered his wife?
If it was true, who can blame him? He was an opportunist tramp. Well, that's what I heard.
Wow. Tell us how you feel about her.
Have you seen any of Oubier's wife's films?
Only one. Believe me, I was appalled, shocked, disgusted, and repulsed.
You left out
You
irritated,
forgot you might
angry,
work.
and sickened.
Last time I went to the movie, I wasn't even titillated.
How about the piss water we're drinking?
There is a gentleman over there who seems to be enjoying your wine.
I can't think why. It was very cheap.
I suppose you have an import license for these relics?
Of course. But that's not my problem, sir. The professor arranges all the shipping. We simply collect the items from the docks.
Could you tell me which docks Professor Oubier uses to import the artifacts?
Good God, no. I can't possibly reveal my commercial secrets.
I found this news story referring to a total eclipse of the sun.
Really, sir? Well, fascinating.
I'm afraid to ask him about the stone.
What I really wanted to ask you about was a black stone.
A black stone?
Yeah, it's a Mayan artifact, about as big as my hand.
No, sir, one doesn't get much call for black stones. If it's Mayan artifacts you're interested in, I have some rather exquisite pots.
Well,
So did I, until that slob smashed it.
Had. Should I have gone and talked to that guy first instead of going and letting Jackass smash my pot?
I'd had enough of talking to that slob.
Okay, how about showing this dude some panties? Would you like some panties?
I didn't think he'd be interested in that.
Probably not. Not sure. Is this a game you can lock yourself out of winning? I don't think so. I think it's pretty linear. Well, let's just head back here, right? If he won't let us see the packing cases, then we'll go see the packing.
Excuse me, sir. That area is private.
Oh, so I'm not allowed back here?
No, sir.
No, sir. We are trying to get arrested. Okay, so what could we do if we were a bull in a china shop?
Rectangles in a desolate landscape. Highly cubist.
Did you see the artwork? What they called art? Rectangles in the square. I could draw that and make $1 million, huh? This one's got a circle and stuff.
Spheres in a barren waste. Oh, very profound. I could see a pattern emerging in this artist's work. The wasteland. Too minimalistic for too much money.
What if I could do something with the heat? Apparently it's not private because I'm standing in it. Seriously. What if we could do something with the hee girls? Like, talk to them again or something?
If I wanted to be laughed at, there was always Nico.
I've seen worse art than in a museum, really. Hold on.
The pots were protected by a glass case.
Do I have anything in my inventory that would assist me with glass?
The way that guy was gripping the glass, I'd need a wrench to get away from him. The pot had smashed into...
Worst art I've ever saw was a piece of paper with a half dozen small flat river rocks lying on it and a circle that had been drawn around each, and that was it. And that, of course, is art. It is kind of interesting what they'll get away with and call art, you know. There was a artist whose husband is a politician, so she drew his ties. Many different ties on a painting. Why somebody would ever want to buy that, I don't know. And call it art. Do you remember the part where we're going to get arrested?
If I wanted to be laughed at, there was always Nico.
Darn, that's the catchphrase for when you don't have the puzzle right. We need to get this guy to drop his glass or leave his glass. What's this guy doing? Window shopping?
If I wanted to be laughed at, there was always Nico.
I wonder if the other guy would like the lipstick. You, sir, you big old blimp, would you like some lipstick? He dropped our book. I am confident in calling him a big old blimp.
I didn't think he'd be interested.
Would the other guy be interested? Would you be interested? The fun thing about convincing me that just about anything can be called art is that if it is art, that means I can criticize it and say how awful it is without. So, yeah, really everyone wins. Because art is subjective and it's based upon someone's personal viewpoint of what they think is good or what they like or what they don't like. Can I do something? With the credit machine? Can I use the blow dart on this dude?
I didn't think he'd be interested in that.
Is there anything in my inventory that he would be interested in?
I didn't think he'd be interested in that. There was nothing else I wanted.
So there's nothing else to ask any of these people.
I'd had enough of talking to that slob.
The he girls.
If I wanted to be laughed at, there was always Nico.
What else? We need to break the glass in the gallery, but I can't think of how to do it, and I can't remember how to do it.
The way that guy was gripping the glass, I'd need a wrench to get away from him.
Look at to see if there. Oh, hold on. There's something about these pots. We can actually click on the pots.
The pots were protected by a glass case.
Okay. You got any ideas? Exactly. You don't get to say it's art. Then be surprised when I say it looks something like a third grader did when they hadn't started the project that was due 5 minutes ago. You know, that's the truth. I mean, what kind of time would it have taken for this guy to draw a rectangle and a box? I could draw one in less than 5 minutes, and maybe it need to be colored, so give it an extra 5 for coloring, and then call it art.
Rectangles in a desolate landscape.
Exercises. The art teacher, one of the students doesn't want to show her project because she forgot it, so she only handed in a blank white page.
I like the one where it says, ask me why. So the person asked me a question with why. So they wrote down why on a piece of paper with a question mark. I like, oh, that's classic. That's fun. That's funny. I would have gotten beaten for that in my school. I mean, the teachers used to have the right, the nuns used to have the right to beat us with rulers and stuff back in the old days. Not so much now, obviously. All right, I vote for either we really put our heads together, or we get a small hint. Because I want to move this on, and I think it comes down to bumping this guy or pushing the glass case, pricking him with a blow dart, which I've tried.
I thought about dipping the poisoned dart into his drink, but thought better of it.
That was the man, though, right? That was the man, not the drink. That I was gonna, is it still poisoned? It was poisoned. I thought the poison was gone. If it's poisoned, then, we might want to be careful about the old trying to hit everybody with the dart type scenario going on here. Okay, so we got these pots on the ground that are smashed beyond belief. Can we take a piece of paper and, pick up the parts? Do you want the worm in your drink? I need to distract him somehow, too. If I'm going to drop a worm in his drink, I need to distract him. So there is the Mayan pots over here. But there's not